you're looking to dive into topics on how to live a happier, healthier, more fit, and long lifespan, then you've come to the right podcast. Living the Dream with me, Coach Damian Evans. Together, we will explore the topics on all things health, fitness, and wellness. Together, we will be lifelong learners on this journey to living the ultimate dream.
What up, Dream Team? Coach D here, coming at you from beautiful sunny San Diego, and I'm here with our beautiful co-host, Jamie Martinez.
What's up, guys?
And we're back with some more questions from the listeners, but before we get to the questions of the day, we're going to go over some current events and our win and struggle. So a lot's been going on this past week and a half. We just got back from the Taylor Swift concert.
Yes, I've only been waiting all year long for this.
So we flew up to San Jose, visited your family. I got to see your mom, which I've only met her once before, and I got to meet your dad, which was amazing. Your beautiful sister, she put us up in her house with her husband. They let us stay there for a couple of nights, which was amazing. And then the Taylor Swift concert, that was an experience.
It really was. I think I screamed for the entire 3.5 hours, woke up with a sore throat, totally worth it. All the feels. It was magical.
Yeah, and I'm not really a huge Taylor Swift fan. I appreciate greatness, and I've just been hearing about how she's been bringing our economy back single-handedly. She's putting on a Super Bowl halftime show pretty much like 2 to 5 times a week. It's insane what this one person is doing, how much power and good she's bringing to the world. So I appreciate greatness, but watching tens of thousands of Swifties screaming their lungs out, it was awesome. What was your favorite part?
Obviously, the Reputation era was fantastic. That's the theme. We all dressed up. Damien even matched us, matching shirt. You should go check out my Instagram. We did a really sweet video, and Damien did a great job. I made him participate in that. But it was crazy. We ended up, after the concert, we were still in San Jose for a couple of days. So got to hop around, went down to Monterey, we went to Santa Cruz, and literally everywhere that we went, it was packed. Granted, I get it's summer, but I think Taylor Swift also brought all these people to the area. We saw people wearing her clothing, her retail, every single place that we went.
Yeah, it was a good time. And then we traveled back and we came right back into the madness. For those of you that don't know, we're transitioning from one studio to another. We are leaving one fit family and we're going to help another and build it over in Del Mar. So we're missing our Scripps friends over in Poway, and we're going to be around for a lot of the events, but we'll be there less coaching. And now we're starting a new thing, and it's crazy. People don't love change, and this was happening pretty quickly. So we're coming into a culture that was already created. My mindset is I'm trying to come in with total observation. I'm trying to come in with support. How can I help support you and build on what you guys have already created? I just try to think about, like, if it was me and I was someone that was a member at a gym and we were going for a year and a half, what would I want to see from someone coming in brand new? I wouldn't want them coming in trying to make all these changes, trying to make this better, that better. I would want to just come in, support, see what can, be done to enhance the experience and not change much. And that's kind of what we're doing. We've gotten a really great reception from the friends over in Del Mar. Sweat Circuit is where we're now starting to build over in the Flower Hill complex. Really excited about the opportunity. Love the product. Love the people. Liz and Nick, our partners, are amazing people with great hearts, and they're like us 10 years from now. We want to be them. So really excited to join up with them. How do you feel about the transition, Jamie? Anything in your head?
Yeah, I mean, so we landed, Monday mid-morning, and then we kind of just went right into it. It's been a crazy, long, stressful, exhausting week, all the emotions. And yeah, like what you just said, no one likes change, even though that's literally all that we do for our entire lives. So it's just been a weird transition. Obviously, not everyone is opening their arms up to us, but all we can do is show up every day with a smile on our face, with kindness. And I think, after a couple of weeks, I think they'll see who we are, see what our intentions are, and I think we'll just continue to move in the right direction.
Yeah, and when you say this is what we do, it's what we do is we help to build community. We know that group fitness is great in itself, and there are a lot of products out there that you can go to, but what really makes one group fitness place stand head and shoulders above the other is the community that you build and the culture that you create in the studio experience. So a welcoming community where you give fist bumps, where you give air high fives, where you're cheering everybody on, where you're supporting the new people, and where the experienced veterans there and there being the ones that are most friendly and helping people out. So doing social events outside of the building, no shower happy hours, hikes, beach workouts, all that kind of stuff. So creating a culture that makes people want to come do fitness, because fitness isn't always fun and you lose motivation. So you got to have that culture built for when those times happen. And we're excited to do that with this new place. So let's move on to some of our wins and struggles of the week. We've got a lot going on. I'll go first. My win is I've only coached a few sweat circuit workouts, and I feel like I came in prepared. I studied my butt off. I ran through it and practiced it, and I feel like I delivered a pretty exceptional experience with a new product, which is, it's tough. For those of you that don't know, coaching, it's not as easy as these coaches make it seem. It's public speaking on steroids. You're trying to speak at the same time you're working out. You are trying to lead a group of adults to do the same thing and have fun doing it, which if you've ever led a group of adults doing anything, you know how challenging that could be. And then at the same time, you have to read body language. There's 20 different people in there that receive information 20 different ways. You got to receive that biofeedback of how they're holding their posture, how they're holding their eye contact. You got to make sure that you're delivering the verbiage that you want to deliver in the correct way that they can actually respond to. Some people are auditory, some people respond to more of a hands-on approach. Some people want you to just kind of back away and give them lots of shout outs, and it's not easy, and I feel like I did that pretty well, and that's kind of like my bread and butter, so I'm giving myself a pat on the back for that. My struggle is sometimes in life you're kind of just surviving. So I've prided myself on being on track with tracking every metric in my life. I track 60 different components of my day to make sure that I do everything that I'm trying to hit. I make sure that I track my steps and calories and all that stuff. But over this last week, pretty much all of that went to the side, and I've just been focusing on being in that new studio as much as I can be, and learning about the members and trying to connect with them. So I haven't tracked a single calorie. My steps are only tracked automatically, so otherwise I wouldn't have those down. My spreadsheet is going by the wayside, so like that's been a real big struggle for me. But this is kind of a message for people. When life is getting crazy, tracking your calories is probably going to be the last thing that you really need to do. Like, you can eat well, you can shift your focus to more intuitive and knowing the portion size and all that stuff, but really sometimes you're just surviving, and you have to give yourself a little bit of grace. It's you can't put yourself down. You can't add extra stress to your plate, because you're going to be moving in the opposite direction that you wanted to. You're going to be compounding bad with bad, and mental health is going to be just as important as that physical health. So making sure that that's kind of where my mindset is right now. I know that my tracking isn't dialed in, so I probably won't even include this data into my long-term spreadsheets, and that's okay. Even though I'm a streak guy, and even though my streaks have kind of gone off the wayside, once I get rolling with this new concept, once I find my footing, and once we really get everything going, I feel like that's kind of when I can restart and start a new streak. So those will be my wins and struggles of the week. What about you, Jamie? What you got?
I would say my win from this past week was truly living in the moment for the entire Taylor Swift concert. So I made a point to not really pull out my phone at all. I didn't want to be that person that was just trying to record the entire show and like watching it through my phone. So I think I literally took maybe 3 photos and 2 quick videos that were less than 10 seconds long, just because I wanted to absorb it all and just live in that moment. I made a point leading up to the show as well to not like follow anything on social media, watching any of the videos. I wanted it to be a complete surprise and not know the entire set list and all that stuff, which I know a ton of my friends were doing, and I'm not saying anything bad about that, but that was just a personal choice that I made. And I was just really proud of myself for even sticking through it throughout the actual live event as well. So that was pretty cool, which I'm usually the person, if you know me, I'm like, let's take a photo, let's take video. So just a little switch up for me there. I would say my struggle from this last week is just having to do with the transition, right? I'm learning a brand new system at the new studio, and kind of just teaching myself, learning on the go, which is challenging but fun at the same time. And similar to what you said, I completely fell off of all of my self-care habits last week. I still stuck with my workouts because I was living at the studio. I want to get them in. The more I'm exposed to the product, the better I'm going to be able to sell it and teach it and coach it. So win on that. I felt like I was still eating good food. I made that a priority as well, but just all of those kind of rest, self-care items fell to the wayside. And so I know I even said it yesterday, it's time to get back on track, refocus, and just realize that those are important as well. And it was just a week of grinding. We knew that. We were coming back from a quick little weekend trip. So just having that awareness and getting back on track this coming week.
All right, let's move on to the questions of the day. We have 3 questions, one on lifestyle, one on exercise and fitness, and one on nutrition. First question on lifestyle. What do we got?
Question number 1. I'm a busy mom with 2 young kids, 3 and 5 years old, and life is crazy. I know exercising is so important for having a long health span, but I feel guilty every time I walk out the door for my 1-hour workout. Am I a terrible parent for wanting to get a workout in instead of spending time with them? Am I overthinking it? Have you worked with anyone in the past that has had this issue?
Nice. Yeah, well, first of all, what I want to say is that you're not alone in feeling this way because we hear this all the time. Being a busy mom with young kids it's undoubtedly a demanding and fulfilling role. It's one of the hardest jobs in the entire world. And it's got to be completely normal to have these feelings of guilt and questioning of whether you're doing the right thing, whether you're being selfish or, making sure that you're taking care of yourself. But the fact that you recognize the importance of exercise for your long-term health and your well-being, it just shows that you're already taking positive steps towards a healthier lifestyle. Remember that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's essential. You have to do it. When you prioritize your own health, you'll have more energy, you're going to have more patience, and you're going to have more happiness to share with your children. So let's address some of these common concerns when it comes to this scenario and then things that we can do to overcome them. The first thing that comes to my mind is when you're spending time with your kids, think quality, not quantity. Quantity versus quality. It's not about the quantity of time that you spend with your kids. It's all about the quality of time that you guys have together. Short bursts of focused attention and engaged activities can be just as valuable as long stretches of time where you're kind of just letting them do their thing and you're scrolling on your phone and you're passively just being there. So if you're spending quality time with your little ones when you're together, it's perfectly okay to take some time away for yourself and exercise during some portions of the day. To make the time spent with your kids quality over quantity, this mom can focus on creating meaningful and engaging experiences, and examples like unplugged playtime. So you could set aside dedicated time without distractions from phones and screens, and you can engage in more imaginative play, like building forts or playing dress up together or doing a puppet show. This focused and interactive playtime creates lasting memories and strengthens your bond. And I'm kind of stepping out of my wheelhouse here because I'm definitely not a parent, but I listen to the podcast Mind Pump, and they talk about being a father all the time. And they say that even if you are going to have screens with your children, make it more interactive. Be there with them and ask them questions about what they're seeing. Like, what does that make you feel? Or can you see how they're doing it this way? Like, being more interactive when it comes to screens can be just as beneficial as non-screen time. So think about unplugged playtime, and then also when you are plugged in, being more there for them. You could read together. Reading books is not only a great bonding activity, but it also promotes language development. It promotes creativity in kids. It lets them see the world in different ways. Let them choose the books and then take turns reading it aloud and have some fun with it. You could do cooking or baking together. You could involve the kids in simple cooking or baking activities, like letting them help mix or stir or decorate cookies or anything like that. It could be a fun way to teach them valuable skills and then also spend quality time in the kitchen together. And we all know that kids love arts and crafts, so art and craft time could be a great way to get creative and draw, paint, or make crafts together, anything like that. Display their artwork proudly on the fridge or in the living room, and just show your appreciation for their efforts when they create something, because teaching a kid how to create is super important in my opinion. You could have more mindful moments. Practice mindfulness together. This could be a great opportunity for you to teach them about how breathing can affect their state. So if they're upset, practice some deep breathing with them, or teach them how to meditate. I heard a very famous meditation teacher. They said that they have their children meditate for how many years old they are. So when they were 3, they did a 3-minute meditation, 4-minute meditation. And now they're 8, 9, 10 years old and they're doing 10-minute meditations Maybe they're guided, maybe they're using the Brain FM app and you're kind of guiding them through it, or you're doing it together. You could do things like simple yoga poses that help them work on their mind-body connection. Great ways to help both you and your kids relax and be present in the moment. Practicing bedtime rituals could be a huge one. You know how important this one is. Kids need structure, and so do adults. We're just big kids, and practicing a bedtime ritual, so important. You could have a bedtime story. You could sing bedtime lullabies. You could have a calming chat before you tuck them in, talk about how their day was. You could ask them about their wins, things that they think that could be better, things they're looking forward to, things that went well. This is going to soothe them for a good night of sleep and provide them an opportunity for meaningful connections and set them up for a nice day the next day. Ask questions and listen to them. Take the time to ask your kids about their day, their thoughts, their feelings. Listen attentively and show genuine interest in what they have to say. This is so important. Be there and be present. Family game nights or movie nights, these are ways to make it more quality over quantity, so you could actually make big events that they have to look forward to. Plan a family game night with board games or movies or their favorite, musicals that they can watch. This is going to encourage bonding and builds a sense of togetherness. And then encourage play dates. Arrange play dates with their friends so that they have an opportunity to socialize and build friendships. These are all great ways to have quality over quantity, so that when the time comes that you do need to take off for a workout, you can explain to them that this is your time to unplug. This is your time for you. Being a positive role model is so important in this sense. And by incorporating regular exercise into your routine, you're setting a positive example for your children. They're going to learn the importance of self-care. They're going to learn the importance of physical activity just by observing your habits, which can have a lasting impact on their own health choices as they grow up. And if you're interested in going a little bit deeper on this subject, Shawn Stevenson of the Model Health Show, he posted a recent episode called The 5 Keys to Unstoppable Family Fitness. So the Model Health Show podcast with Shawn Stevenson, I will leave the link for this episode in the description of this podcast. I highly recommend checking that out if this is something that is interesting to you. Great episode, just released. Look for the link in the description. Now, once you have your quality time figured out so that you feel good about going away for your own fitness routine, you could go out and do your own fitness routine, but there's also another option. You could incorporate family fitness. Consider involving your kids in some of your workouts and physical activities. You can go for family walks. You could have a dance party at home, or you could do one of those Wii or Twitch dance party video games. You could even do simple exercises at home like jumping jacks or stretching. And this way, you're not only spending time with them, but you're also promoting a healthy lifestyle for the whole family. Make sure that you make it fun, because it's important that you associate fun and physical activity, make it engaging. So maybe it has some sort of, when I used to train preschoolers, we would do act like animals, and we would do like frog hops, and we would do bear crawls. We would do Simon Says. Those type of things are super fun. Make it a little bit competitive so you could teach them how to win and how to lose. So maybe it's how many pencils can you pick up off the floor while standing on one leg, or who can flip over the most amount of cones, who can set this cone up and who can flip this one down at the end of 30 seconds, who has the most cones in their position. So a great way to teach them how to win and lose, because we all know those kids that have never been taught to lose, and they go into their sports and they just have a meltdown, and that's not very healthy. So that's a great little hack there. You could nurture supportive relationships in your life as a mom. You want to seek support from your partner. You want to seek support from your other family, your friends. They can all help you with childcare or household tasks, even if it's just for a short while during your workout. Having a strong support system can ease any guilt you may feel and provide you with the time that you need to focus on your own health, so that you're not distracted while you are doing your own self-care. And then just make sure that you are flexible. Adapt and be flexible. Sometimes life gets busy and things don't go as planned, and that's okay. This is not the time to stick to a strict regimented program. Be flexible and willing to adjust your schedule routine to fit your family's schedule. It doesn't always have to be perfect. It doesn't always have to look perfect. It doesn't have to be an hour. It can be even short, more frequent workouts, and those can be effective. Let's elaborate on some examples, some specific examples that this mom can do for her exercise routine. If she's going to go away for a workout, or if she's going to involve her kids, what are some things that she could do? If she's going to have an exercise routine away from the kids, she could do early morning workouts. I mean, she could consider waking up a bit earlier before the kids even get up. And this could be a 30-minute session in the garage, body weight exercises. She could do a quick run, a quick hike. She could go to a gym class and a fitness studio. So joining a local gym or a fitness studio that offers classes can be a great option. She doesn't have to think. She doesn't have to program it. She has that social support system waiting for her. Many gyms offer classes like yoga, Pilates, dance, or even HIIT training, high intensity interval training, that provide just a structured workout led by an instructor who can coach her through the moves so she doesn't have to really stress or think. She could do home workout videos. My mom used to do Tae Bo. I don't know if you guys ever remember Tae Bo. We were all into the P90X craze as well. They have tons of home workouts, and now a lot of them are free on YouTube. She can choose from a variety of workout styles such as cardio or strength training or even dance workouts that can be done in the comfort of her own home, where she's becoming this nice role model. She could do things like cycling or trail running that are great for being in a nice moving meditative state. It gets out in nature, things that can help her with her stress management. I think she deserves that. Or even like group activities like a local sports group, soccer, pickleball, ultimate frisbee. Not only will she get her workout in, but she's also having the opportunity to socialize and meet like-minded individuals. And then when communicating with her kids about leaving to go to work out, I think it's really essential for this mom or any parent to just be open, positive, and inclusive. So it's really important to have the right verbiage. It's all about the verbiage that you use. And this can help her be a great role model and help the kids understand her commitment to her health. So she could explain the importance. Hey kids, mommy's going to take a little time for herself to exercise because it's essential to stay strong and healthy. Just like you have fun and you go play, mommy also needs time to do activities that make her feel happy and energized. She could be positive, enthusiastic. I'm really looking forward to my workout today because it's like a fun playtime with grown-ups. While I'm away, you guys can have fun playing with whatever game or activity they're going to do. And when I come back, we can all have even more fun together. She could encourage participation. You know what's even more exciting, kids? Sometimes I get to do the exercises that we can all do together. How about we have a little family dance party later and I'll teach you the moves that I'm learning. It's going to be so much fun. She could set expectations. I think it's really important that kids have expectations so that they're not left in the dark. I'll be gone for a little while, but I'm going to come right back before you know it. You can always talk to whoever the caregiver is, and if you need anything while I'm gone. But remember, mommy loves you very much, and I'm doing this so that I can be the very best mommy that I can be for you. She can include her thoughts. Do you want to help me choose a fun workout outfit for today? Come pick the outfit that I'm going to wear. I love hearing your ideas and spending time with you, even when I'm getting ready for my workout. She could highlight the benefits. When I exercise, it helps me have more energy and patience to play with you guys and do all the fun things that we love to do. Plus, I get to show you how staying active and healthy is an exciting part of life. She can show appreciation. I'm so grateful for your support. It means so much to me when you cheer me on and you understand that when I take care of myself, it's essential for my health and I can be a better mom for you. And then she can share the joy as well. Guess what? Sometimes I learn new exercises that I can teach you too. We can have our special exercise time together when I get back. But by using positive language and involving the kids in her fitness journey and expressing the importance of self-care, this mom can inspire her children and help them see that exercise is a normal and enjoyable part of life. And remember, kids often learn by example, and her dedication to health will leave a lasting impression, instilling positive habits in their own future. Now, if she's going to have an exercise routine with kids with them, she could totally do family walks or hikes, dance parties. What I've seen some of the coolest things on the internet is you can create your own obstacle course. Maybe set up a backyard obstacle course if you have the space and you're able to do something like that. Hula hoops on the ground, cones that you can run around, jump ropes that you can jump over or through. Maybe even you can go as far as one of my friends who actually built like a Spartan obstacle course that him and his wife do, but then like a mini little obstacle course off the side where kids can like jump over walls and hang from bars and just be kids. I thought that was super cool. You guys could go to playground workouts. So those playgrounds, they have all those cool little structures, and sometimes off to the side, you'll see like little workout areas. You can incorporate bodyweight exercises like dead hangs or leg raises or pull-ups, tricep dips. You could do step-ups or hop-overs, kind of go through a little obstacle course through slides. That would be really fun. Or you guys could do some yoga or stretching sessions in the backyard. So you're teaching them balance, you're teaching them body control. All really, really cool things that you can think about incorporating your kids into your exercise routine, getting two birds with one stone type of a situation. And just remember that the key is if you're going to bring them into your exercise, you have to make it enjoyable and you have to make it engaging. If it's boring, it's going to send a bad association with physical activity that could transfer later on into life, that you don't really want that negative connotation. But by involving the kids in your workouts, you're not only going to get exercise in, but you're also going to set that positive example. So mix in the workouts with your kids, but also know that you need self-care, you need quality time to yourself, and it's all about finding that balance with what works best for you, your family's schedule, everyone's preferences, and just consistency and creativity are going to be keys to your success here. So that's all I really have on this first question. Let's move on to the second question, the exercise and fitness question. What do we got, Jamie?
Question number 2. I have terrible posture, and my neck and upper back are always tired and sore. Is there anything I can do to help?
Man, can't we all relate to this one? So let's dive into addressing the issue of posture and then the resulting neck and upper back discomfort. And first, it's really important to know that you're not alone in experiencing these posture-related issues. It's incredibly prevalent right now. Many people, especially in this modern age of prolonged sitting and device use in front of our body, face similar challenges as you. The good news is that there are several steps that you can take to improve your posture and to alleviate the discomfort that you're feeling. Awareness is going to be the first step, which you're already there. The first step is to become aware of your posture throughout the day. Pay attention to how you're sitting. How long are you staying in one position? Sedentary behavior, meaning one position for long periods of time, even if that's standing, even if that's kneeling, if you are still for prolonged periods of time, this is going to be ineffective towards your goal of feeling more mobile, more smooth in your movements, less pain. You got to make sure that you stand, sit, kneel, you hold yourself in different positions all throughout the day, especially when you're using devices like smartphones and computers that can distract us over time and really hold us into that position. So one of my favorite posture instructors, they used to say, a lot of coaches will tell you to pull your shoulders down and back, and this actually creates a compression in the upper back that, over time is not wonderful. Instead, she said that you should think about creating space. So creating space, like I know when we talk about posture, everyone's trying to look at their posture right now, but think about lifting the crown of your head higher towards the sky. Think about taking your shoulders and opening and creating as much space as you can left to right. Think about opening up your chest, extending your back just a little bit back, just a little bit, so it's like you have a proud chest here. Keeping your ribs down, but also not letting your lower back arch. You're trying to keep your ribs down and your pelvis tucked and creating space as much as you can. And that's a great way to think about finding your neutral spine alignment. And then throughout the day, when are you out of it? And sometimes I have clients that really struggle with this. I have them put little stickers all around their house, like that can remind them about their posture. So maybe they put a sticker on the back of their phone, and every time they see that sticker, it reminds them to look at their posture, or the mirror in the bathroom, or on their computer screen at work. Anytime they look at that sticker, it's something that reminds them to create space. Next, you have the ability to set up your environment to help you get into that position. You can have a nice ergonomic setup to your workspace. Ensure that your workspace, whether at home or in the office, is ergonomically designed. And that means that you can adjust the height of your chair up or down. You can adjust the height of your monitor up or down. And the keyboard, you can change the keyboard positioning to maintain neutral posture and reduce the strain on your neck and upper back. Maybe you get a desk that moves from up or down, sit to stand. Making sure that you take regular breaks, because movement is life, motion is lotion, and making sure that you are not sedentary for a prolonged period of times is super important so you don't start to glue yourself together in that position. Stand up, Stretch in the opposite position that you're usually in. So if you're slouched forward, if you're rounded forward, you're opening up your chest, you're extending your spine back, you're making sure that your spine is not flexed, it's extended. And move every 30 minutes, even if it's just for 10 seconds, to get a little bit of movement to the muscles of the legs, to get a little bit of relief from that sedentary position. It's going to help relieve tension and help improve circulation. Then you want to think about strengthening exercises. If you're shortening muscles in one position, then that means that the opposite muscles are going to be lengthened and start to get weak. So focus on exercises that strengthen those lengthened muscles and support your good posture. We'll talk about this in a sec, particularly your core, your upper back, and your neck muscles. So instead of being front focused, try to be more rear focused or back focused or posterior focused. Incorporate exercises like planks for your core, rows for your backs, shoulder blade squeezes for your posture and your upper back muscles. All those things that you can put into your routine. You could even do those during breaks at your computer desk for 10, 20 reps and then get right back to work. Stretching is also going to be important here, but we're going to go over why stretching might not always be the answer. It can be highly beneficial, improving your flexibility and reducing tightness if it is a tightness issue. So pay attention to your chest, stretching those muscles that get short, your front of your shoulders, opening them up, creating space, your neck muscles, making sure that it can move left to right, it can twist left to right, and it can rotate around in that circle. Regular stretches in these areas can counteract the effects of poor posture. Taking a yoga class or doing a very consistent yoga routine could be really helpful here, or a Pilates routine. Those are great at working on your stability and really great at getting into positions that help you counteract the things that we do in our modern day. Like, there's a reason why yoga has been around for thousands of years and that the poses have been the same. It's because it's very important in the way that we move our biomechanical structure as humans. And then some people, this is where most people go when they first have posture issues, is they'll invest in a posture correcting device. And I feel like every time, at least Americans, anytime that we have an issue, we always think about what can we buy? What can I buy? Can I buy this supplement? Can I buy this pill? Can I buy this product that is going to help me get to this point? Oh, I have knee issues. I'm going to buy this orthotic. Or I have this posture issue. I'm going to buy this back brace that's going to help put me in posture. And while these posture correcting devices could be beneficial, it's a Band-Aid. It is a Band-Aid that is covering up the underlying mechanism as to why you're feeling the way you are. So instead of hitting your head against the wall and then taking headache medicine, let's figure out how we can stop hitting our head against the wall. Work with a professional. If you're struggling on making progress, seek some guidance from someone like a physical therapist or a certified posture specialist or a movement specialist like my friend Odile. She's amazing. They can assess your posture and provide personalized exercises and tips to address your specific needs. Just being mindful all day about how you're walking, how you're carrying items. Do I always stand on one leg when I'm resting and I'm talking to someone? That could be an imbalance that needs to be corrected. And if you hold your child on one side, or if you always carry your groceries or your luggage in one hand, make sure you find balance, mindfulness in how you're holding your body and what you're doing in your everyday life. Stand tall with your shoulders relaxed, chin slightly tucked like you're trying to give yourself a double chin. Yes, it feels weird. Avoid slouching. Think about proud. One of my friends, Nate Jackson, he says, stand up like a warrior. And when you think of how can I stand up like a warrior? That right there is perfect posture. And then one other thing that you might want to think about looking at is your sleeping position. It is so common to have an incorrect sleeping position for what you're currently experiencing, or even the type of pillow that you're using could be off. If you follow the company MoveU, MoveU, my friend Dr. Mike and Katie are amazing. They have hundreds of videos on sleep and how you can correct your sleeping position. Go to Instagram and go to MoveU and follow them and look for all their sleeping stuff. And they have a great program too that can help you get out of pain. So that could be something that you could access. And then we got to think about sometimes, guys, sometimes when a person feels pain, it's not always a tight muscle. It's not always a structural injury, but oftentimes it's a strength and a mobility issue. So if you're constantly popping your neck and if you're constantly stretching and it's just not helping, it might not be a tightness issue. It may be that you're not stable in that position and other muscles are trying to take over. It may be that you don't have the mobility to get into a position and it's causing you pain because you're trying to get into that position and it won't let you. And then it can definitely be a strength issue. Like, how often do we do neck strengthening exercises or upper back strengthening exercises? If we're always slouched forward and our muscles are always lengthened and weakening, then we ask them to go into a position right away. Like, that's going to cause a little bit of a signal from the body that we're not ready for that position. Pain is a complex and multifaceted experience. We've done some masterclass episodes on pain, and I have hundreds of hours of content on pain experts that I can send you if you're interested. Just reach out to me. But it's not always solely caused by tight muscles or structural injuries. Often pain can be attributed to a combination of factors. So let's explore this further. Muscle imbalances. Our bodies are designed to function as a balanced system. No, we're not going to be completely symmetrical because we have organs that are sitting on one side. And there's a lot of things where our body's not completely symmetrical. But when certain muscle groups become stronger and overworked or tighter than others, it can lead to other muscles having to lengthen in order to get into that position that you want to be in or that you're training yourself to be in most of the time. These imbalances can alter our movement patterns and put excess stress on certain other areas, leading to pain and discomfort. So a great thing to do here is to exercise for symmetry. Do single-sided exercises. So exercises on one side and then match it on the other side. Maybe notice if you have one side that is weaker than the other, and that's the side that you want to start on. Also, isometrics are great here. So like wall sits or planks, or pressing up against an immovable object and trying to fire up the muscles that cause you pain in a non-moving way. So like if your chest is tight, you can put it into a stretch position at the bottom of a push-up and apply as much power as you can without actually moving and activate those muscles in a nice lengthened position. That's a really great way to strengthen those muscles, but also keep them long and lengthy in that. That would be what you're calling mobility, working on your mobility, your strength through the fullest range of motion. Also, think about your weak muscles. Weak muscles can contribute to pain. So if you're asking your thighs to do a bunch of heavy squats, but your thighs are not strong enough to do the squats, your knees, your joints in your hips are going to take the brunt of the force, and they're going to say, hey, whoa, you are not strong enough to do this movement yet. I'm going to cause some pain so that you stop doing this. So as a result, the other muscles are going to need to compensate, and that's going to lead to overuse and strain. So what you can do here is you can train in a little bit of a higher rep count, so 20 to 30, maybe even 40 reps at a slower tempo, long time under tension, so that you can learn how to activate these muscles, how to control these weak muscles, and make sure that you're not going to be doing too much damage with a heavier load. When the load is too heavy, your form is going to suffer. So go lighter, go longer, and go super slow in the regions where you might be experiencing pain. And then work on your mobility. Lack of mobility is a huge, huge part of why you might feel pain. This is what I mostly see in group fitness classes when people tell me that they have ankle pain, when people tell me that they have knee, hip, or shoulder pain. It's because our bodies, we lack the range of motion that it requires to do this movement. And then we ask it to do this movement in a way that adds a bunch of load or adds a bunch of power, and you've never done this move, or you haven't done this in a few days, or whatever the case may be. You're not used to the movement, and you're putting too much stress on the body. That's what that body is trying to tell you. So work on your mobility. We have tons of videos on mobility on YouTube. I can send you some great mobility experts like Kelly Starrett from the Ready State, Aaron Alexander from the Aligned Method. There's a bunch of good mobility experts, and you can just search on YouTube, mobility for hips, mobility for knees, mobility for shoulders, and you'll come up with some really good stuff. Also, it's really important to understand compensatory movements. So when we experience pain in one area, we often unconsciously alter our movement patterns to avoid discomfort in another area. These compensatory movements can put added stress on body parts, leading to new areas of pain. So maybe you had a previous injury in your left ankle. So now you had to shift over to your right, which puts you out of alignment on your right side, and now your right hip or your right knee had to take up a little bit more load. And then over time, with repetitive movements, now you have this thing that's moving up the chain and across the body that is not actually where the problem originated, but it's now adding a new issue as it goes up the chain. One of the more eye-opening quotes that I heard from Kelly Starrett is he said, where you feel the pain usually isn't where the problem is. Or another way he said, I think he said, where the rats get in is not where they chew. So think about it. If you have a tightness in one muscle on one side, which is going to lengthen the muscle on the other side, you might feel the pain in the position where that muscle is being lengthened and pulling on the joint or the ligament or whatever it is. But it's not the lengthened muscles problem. It's the tightness on the other side that you want to get rid of while you strengthen the loosened muscle, which is going to alleviate the pain on where that muscle is pulling. So it's like, it's a chain reaction of events. So this could get really frustrating. There's a awesome follow on Instagram. His name is Dr. Perry Nicholson, and his whole entire brand is called Stop Chasing Pain. Stop chasing pain, because where you feel the pain, if it's chronic, sometimes that's not where it is. So being able to work on the whole system of the body and make sure that you find alignment and you strengthen a well-balanced routine, over time, that chronic condition of pain may go away. And then you have to realize that pain is in the head. The head is going to send signals to the body that something's not right. So the body sends signals to the brain, which goes back to the body to how to react. So it's a whole systemic process here that you have to be aware of. Noticing when you have poor posture is a great way to do this, and balancing out exercises that can help you with the thing that we call upper crossed syndrome. You have tight chest and weak, long back muscles, and your shoulders are rounded forward and forward head posture. These things that you can do, you could buy a little elastic band at your desk and you could do some band retractions and squeeze your shoulder blades together. You could take your back over the edge of the back of your chair and extend your spine back. And really, when you're doing these exercises, breath is going to be super important as well. So if I'm extending my back, my spine goes backwards, I'm going to take a nice deep breath in and fill my lungs. And what is that going to do? That's going to open up my chest even more when my lungs fill. And then as I exhale, exhaling helps to release tension so I can exhale out of that stretch and keep going even further into that back bend, and just making sure that the breath is long and slow on the exhale, and that you really focus on deep, conscious, mindful breathing when you're doing these stretches, mobility exercises, and frequency is going to be king. You're in that posture a lot forward. So how many times a day can you do the exercises that help to counteract it and go the other direction? Also, you might want to look at some overuse and repetitive motions that you do. So if you're someone that is on the phone a lot on your desk, maybe you hold the phone over to your shoulder and maybe you're holding it there all the time. Like, that would be an obvious overuse or repetitive motion that is going to cause a stretch or a tightness or a weakness that you're probably going to want to buy a hands-free set or a wired headset or something that you can do where you can be more neutral. And then nerve sensitivity. A lot of times pain can result from increased nerve sensitivity or irritation, even without a structural injury. So going onto YouTube and searching nerve glides, like I have something going on with my neck right now. So I've searched medial nerve glide. My medial nerve goes from my spine in my neck, out my shoulder to my fingertips. And I can do some movements where I'm stretching my arm out to the side, I'm moving my hand and my neck in a certain way, and it'll help that nerve glide through where it needs to glide. Anytime there's a nerve issue, you want to make sure that there's not a sharp shooting electrical impulse sending through the body when you do it. And if that's the case, you definitely want to see a professional, a neurological professional or anything like that that can help you address those issues. And now for me, this is the one thing that I try to avoid, and this is definitely a personal thing. When I am in pain, I try to avoid staying away from the pain and avoiding the pain altogether. If you are someone that really babies your injury or your pain, this is going to limit your range of motion, and over time, it will make it way harder to come back than if you were to have actively moved it. So for example, I've had a client that sprained their ankle and they put it in a brace and they never flexed or extended their ankle, and they walked on that brace for months and months. And when they came back to it, they had some, I would say, close to permanent structural scar tissue that kept them in that position. And now, in order for them to break up that scar tissue, in order for them to get back to full range of motion, it's going to take so much painful rehab that it's just like, it's probably not going to get done, because consistency and frequency is going to make that happen. And if it's not enjoyable, and if it's always painful, and if it's to a point where they are so far away from where they were, it's very demoralizing. So try to avoid babying your injury. Make sure that you lean into this small discomfort and you notice any progress that you feel, and you notice that you're progressing and stay on that path. And then if there's a setback where you went a little bit too far, just notate that. Find your edge and be compassionate with yourself and be patient, but try to move as much as you can in the fullest range of motion for as soon as you can, and make sure that you don't stay in one position as long as possible. That would be kind of my personal biased opinion. But if you experience persistent or severe pain, and it's going to be essential that you consult with a healthcare professional or a physical therapist. They're going to assess you perfectly, and they're going to show you what you need to do, the moves, any underlying issues that you may have, provide you with a personal plan to address your pain and improve your strength and mobility safely. Because remember, pain is not something to be ignored, and it's real, and taking proactive steps to address it can lead to a better long-term health and well-being. Awesome. Let's move on to the third question. The third question for nutrition. What do we got, Jamie?
Question number 3. This actually came from one of my good friends. The question is, I've noticed you put cinnamon in your coffee every day. What's the reason? Do you just like it, or are there some health benefits along with that as well? The answer is both. Cinnamon tastes good. I love it, but it is also a spice that you do want to add into your life for multiple reasons. Reason number 1, cinnamon contains compounds that can help reduce inflammation in your gut, which in turn can also get you a healthier digestive system, and this can lead to your ability to digest food better. How? Well, cinnamon helps by stimulating the secretion of digestive enzymes, which can help your body absorb the nutrients from the foods you are eating much better, right? We want to be able to actually absorb the nutrients that we are consuming. Cinnamon will help you do that. It is also known to have antibacterial and antifungal effects. So basically, its natural properties can help fight harmful bacteria and fungi in the gut, which promotes a balanced gut microbiome. Another benefit from cinnamon, it can have some soothing effects. If you're a person that has potentially some gas and bloating issues, hello, I am one of those people, it can help relieve some of that stress as well. And then final benefit, blood sugar regulation. Regular consumption, right? As with anything, consistency is key, and that's why I try to get it in every single day. But having cinnamon on the regular has been shown in some research that it can help improve insulin sensitivity. This can have a positive impact on blood sugar levels and overall hormone balance. Now, there isn't an exact serving size recommendation, but some experts do suggest a half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon or 2 to 4 grams of cinnamon powder every single day. So again, blood sugar regulation, soothing effects of gas and bloating, antibacterial and antifungal effects, and it will also help your digestive system. So just some reasons why I do try to add that into my morning coffee every day, or I should say our morning coffee every day. We both add it in. Another great way that you could sneak it in as well, if you're not down to put it in your morning coffee, or if you're just not a coffee drinker, if you are a big yogurt bowl fan, that's a nice little sprinkle on top with some berries. So just another suggestion of a good way to get it in.
Nice, great stuff. Okay, so we're moving on to the recommendation for the week. We recommend Michael Moss. He is an author, and he wrote 2 books, great prequel and sequel, Salt, Sugar, Fat, and the second book, more recently released, called Hooked. Salt, Sugar, and Fat, and Hooked. Hooked's subtitle is Food, Free Will, and How the Food Giants Exploit Our Addictions. And this is an expose on how the processed food industry exploits our evolutionary instincts, the emotions that we associate with food, and legal loopholes in their pursuit of profit over our public health. Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, he said, the processed food industry has managed to avoid being lumped in with big tobacco, which is why Michael Moss's new book is so important. And everyone knows how hard it can be to maintain a healthy diet. But what if some of the decisions we make about what to eat are beyond our control? Is it possible that food is addictive like drugs and alcohol? And to what extent does the food industry know or care about these vulnerabilities? In Hooked, Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter Michael Moss sets out to answer all these questions and to find the true peril in our food. Moss uses the latest research on addiction to uncover what the scientific and medical communities, as well as the food manufacturers, already know. And they know that food, in some cases, is even more addictive than alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs. Our bodies are hardwired for these sweets, so food giants have developed 56 types of sugar to add into their products. Yeah, this is a good book. We highly recommend it. It's a gripping account of the legal battles, insidious marketing campaigns, and cutting-edge food science that have brought us to our current public health crisis. This book, Hooked, lays out all that the food industry is doing to exploit and deepen our addictions and shows us why we eat what we eat and why it has mattered even more now than ever. So check out the first book, which was released about a decade ago, Salt, Sugar, and Fat, and then Hooked, which is released in the last few years. And we're going to leave you with a quote for the day. The quote that we love today is from Paulo Coelho, which is the author of The Alchemist. If you haven't read The Alchemist, that is one of the OGs. You got to read that. That's like a staple. The Alchemist. He said, "The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion." The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. So we could sit here and we can shout at the top of our lungs at what we think is going to make the world a better place, or we can go out and we can Gandhi style be the change. The quote that I'm going to use going into the week is, "Don't adapt to the energy in the room, influence the energy in the room. Show up how you think you should show up, create the energy in the room, and attract what you put out into the universe." The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. Let's get out there and let's create some change, friends. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
All right, Dream Team, that's it for today. Please share with me any knowledge, thoughts, or questions you may have on today's topic. I'll make sure to answer and discuss on the next episode. You can ask your questions in the comments section or message me on any of the social media platforms. Also, I would be so thankful if you shared this episode with any of your friends or family that may be able to benefit from today's podcast. I would love it if you could do me a solid and screenshot this podcast and share it on your social media platforms and just write one takeaway, one aha moment that you got from this episode. This will help me know what's really valuable to you, and so I can keep the good information coming. And it also lets your network know if this podcast is worth a listen to them. Thank you so much for listening and learning here with us on the Living the Dream podcast. We are so grateful for you being a part of this lifelong learning journey. If you have any topics you'd like to discuss, please let us know in the comments or by messaging me on Instagram at CoachDamien_SD. Be kind to someone today, smile at someone today, and leave every person you come into contact with better than before. Until next time, friends, keep living the dream.